Hello everyone and good evening and welcome to our second asynchronous section on pronunciation and conversation. We are starting chapter 2 today, off and running, and I just wanted to share with you the calendar, the agenda for today's agenda for those of you that are unable to make it tonight at 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and this is our Zoom meeting link. Again, here in the calendar and Canvas. And you also have the meeting ID and passcode. Here is the daily agenda video intro that I'm sharing with you now. In today's agenda, we're going to review chapter 1, what we talked about last class, the pronunciation needs and goals. Any questions or concerns that you might have with regard to what we covered last class on Tuesday. And then we're going to go ahead and dive into chapter 2 about syllables. Syllables, as we'll talk about, are the building blocks of the English language. You have them, I'm sure, in your first language. So we're going to talk about how to identify syllables, how to count syllables, and then how to use syllables to identify something called word stress, which is the highest pronounced, the strongest syllable in a word, the syllable that gets the most emphasis when we pronounce it. So we'll talk about that today, and then your learning activities for next week, you can see here. I'm trying to lessen it a little bit. I think you'll find that this is less work, much less work than what you had on Tuesday, and I appreciate your feedback again on that. So this is the agenda for today. If you go into our course, and then you go to modules on the left side. We finished our orientation in chapter 1 last class. So now we're going to go into chapter 2 on syllables. You can go ahead and click the first item there. For those of you who do not have a copy of our textbook, and you can see the image of it there, Well Said Intro. If you click that link, it'll take you to Amazon where you can purchase it if you've yet to purchase it. But I also created some scanned copies for you, just for the first few chapters. So you can click here, and that will download a PDF here, which I'll open for you, and there you have access to chapter 2. So you can use that for those of you who do not have the textbook yet. And then the audio files that go with the exercises, you can click here and you can see here, this is the audio for Well Said. And then in the textbook, it'll say, for example, CD1 track 4 for a particular exercise. So you can select the CD1 and then the track 4 or whatever CD and track that you need, and play the audio.
Exercise 3, A and B, page 9.
So everything you need for this chapter is here on that first page. You can hit next. The learning objectives are here. Again, the focus is on syllables and how to identify syllable stress. So it helps with our pronunciation. That's one of the more fundamental aspects of pronunciation, is identifying the strong syllable where the word stress goes. But I'm going to go through this very briefly. Here you have a lecture on syllables. And I'll put here a video where I talk about and I go through this lecture with you. So look for that here where it says syllable lecture. And then here are the activities that I would like you to complete. Exercise 3, Part A is a quiz, and you're indicating if there are the same amount of syllables or a different number of syllables. Same syllables, same amount, or different amount of syllables. That's exercise 3. Exercise 4, you're counting how many syllables by identifying the word that you hear. Listen to how many syllables in the word that they pronounce in the recording. And as you listen to that recording, based on how many syllables you hear, you're going to pick the word that you think is being pronounced, is being said, according to how many syllables. This one, you're going to do some writing here to list according to page 10 in your textbook. Again, you can click here and that'll take you to this document. So you'll go to page 10. And these are the most beautiful English words according to a survey that was conducted. Listen to CD1, track 7, and then go ahead and list the 5 words that you like best. Here, actually you'll be able to submit. You'll submit a Word document, or you can type in your responses. It's up to you. For part B, listen to those favorite words again and indicate how many syllables there are in each word. How many syllables do you hear for the 5 words that you chose? You can indicate that here. How many syllables? And lastly, for part C, think of 5 words in English that you do not like the sound of, or maybe they're hard for you to pronounce. Write down those words and count how many syllables there are. All right? Just a couple more activities for you to do. Here are the notes on word syllable stress. Okay, and we'll go over that together in class. A lot to talk about here in terms of which syllable is the strongest. And that really dictates that word stress, where we really emphasize the pronunciation, the sound of that syllable, and that's what helps us in English understand and distinguish between different words. Couple more things to go over. Syllabus stress quiz. There are 10 questions there. And I introduced to you a pronunciation tool called Word Reference, where you can type in a word in English, say, I don't know, algebra. Or let's do calculator, a long word with many syllables. When you type that word in, you can see there's a button here that says listen, and it'll give you the pronunciation.
Calculator. Calculator.
To try to figure out and listen for where that word stress is, where that strong syllable is. That's a good resource. Sorry, Dad's calling me right now. Embarrassing. Sorry, Dad. Anyhow, so those are the 10 questions to determine where is the strong syllable, which syllable for each word has word stress. And then the last activity is to pick 5 words that are difficult for you to say. You can look up those words in the dictionary here to determine how many syllables there are. I'll show you how to do that. So this is the Merriam-Webster dictionary. We'll use calculator again. You can see it shows us here, calculator. And you can actually hear the pronunciation too.
Calculator. Calculator.
So you have two tools, the Webster's Dictionary, English to English, or you can use word reference, which will give it to you in your native language. You just need to, change the language, and there are many to choose from. And that's it, guys. That's our agenda for today. Hopefully you don't find it to be as much as before, first chapter. And this is our checklist just to make sure that we covered everything. So one more time, going in the calendar, the assignments that you have to do are listed here for tonight. And these are all due by next Wednesday, so you have almost a full week to complete them. If you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out to me. My contact information is on our homepage. If you go to our course, you know that you can get a hold of me by email. You can contact me on Canvas. All my contact information is here under contact info. I hope to see you this evening in our synchronous session. Remember, every Tuesday and Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I hope to see you then. And I hope you have a great weekend.